everybody. Today we're doing a book review on Ready Player One, boom, right there, by Ernest Cline. And this book, I read the reviews on the back, and I didn't agree with them at all. But that doesn't mean it's not a good book. Like it says from the Huffington Post, delightful, the grown-ups Harry Potter. I didn't think that was. Harry Potter was much more of a grown-up book than this. And then enchanting, Willy Wonka meets the Matrix, and it's like, again, maybe, but I think you should read the book for yourself and ignore these reviews and whatnot. But so basically, this guy named Halliday, he creates this huge virtual reality world called the Oasis, and most of the people on Earth in this book end up spending most of their time in the Oasis rather than actual reality. And when Halliday dies, he, in his will, tells everybody that there's an Easter egg or like an extra bonus in the game that's the Oasis that he's created for somebody to find. And the first person that finds it wins this huge prize. So there's this huge hunt for Halliday's Easter egg within the Oasis, which is the virtual reality world he's created. The main character, Wade, that's his name in real life, and then in the Oasis his name is Parzival. He is going on this hunt to get the egg. He meets some people, he has some friends and stuff, and then he has to compete against all of these people to get the egg first. And that's pretty much the basic, main, bottom, bare bones plot of the story. I think some of the interesting parts about this story is it starts talking about how reality is once people get hooked up to virtual reality most of the time, and how it affects their bodies, how it affects the way they think, how it affects society and stuff like that. And I thought that was really, really interesting to see Cline's take on how virtual reality is a very popular thing that people use all the time, affects people in day-to-day, actual out of virtual reality life. Also, other than that, this book, Halliday, the guy that made the Easter egg, he's like a big fan of the 1980s, and so most of the things that you need to do or quests you need to do, whatever in the game to get the Easter egg, has to do with a lot of really, really intricate 80s knowledge. And so this book is full of 1980s memorabilia, so if you like the 80s, then lots of references. But you don't need to know anything about the 80s to understand the book. It's a little more involved if you do. Other than that, I mean, it was an okay read. It was an easy read. I read it in a single day, but I liked it. It wasn't my favorite book. It's definitely not bumping down number one, but I think it was an interesting book. It tucks on some societal issues that are really interesting, especially with in actual reality, not in this book. We're starting to have virtual reality come out, like Oculus Rift is starting to become popular, and Xbox is starting to develop technology, or Microsoft is starting to develop Xboxes with technology to do online virtual reality. And so this is starting to touch on some really relevant points a little bit before it actually comes out into mainstream reality. So I think that's already a good reason to read this book. And it's really interesting, and I think the way that the storyline is progressing within the book, like you can be like an adult and read it and it's a good book, or you can be a child and read it and it's a good book. I didn't really find any super inappropriate parts of the book when I was like, ooh, that I wouldn't let kids read, but at the same time it wasn't super boring for an adult. So again, Ready Player One by Ernest Cline.